News making the headlines tonight. Anambra State Governor Soludo visits Onitsha, vows to revive city. Special intervention to cater for emergency health needs of India Anambra launched. Nigeria present country reports to ECOWAS. On the foreign scene, Portugal declare war on tobacco products. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good evening and thanks for joining us on ABS Evening News. My name is Chinyere Ikoreke. As part of effort aimed at restoring the steaming lost glory of Onitsha, the governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, took an on-the-spot assessment of specific location in Onitsha North and South Council area. Correspondent Valentin Badaga tells us more.
The governor, accompanied by the deputy governor, Dr. Nyekachukwu Ibezim, officials of the State Physical Planning Board, members of the State Urban Regeneration Council, Anambra State Water Resources Management Office, and other members of the State Executive Council embarked on the strategic inspection. The places visited include an abandoned hotel facilitated under the two previous administrations at GRA Onitsha, encroached land meant for judges' quarters, roads in Fege Onitsha that need attention, roads and blocked drainage system at Ochanja Market, Sakamori Fege Onitsha, abandoned crash program water scheme in Odapu, Greater Onitsha Water Supply Scheme, among others. Governor Soludo said that the impunity being perpetrated by most developers in the city is unacceptable and observed that the developers hardly adhere to the minimum standard allowed by the state. He cited building on top drainages as one of the causes of flooding and other attendant challenges and decried the sad situation where the city seems to be going backwards in terms of development. The governor stressed that while reconstruction of roads and other infrastructure are ongoing in the city of Onitsha and elsewhere, people are expected to maintain positive attitudes towards the environment, stressing that his administration has an agenda with a deadline. He explained that his administration is looking at a systematic master plan for water provision, saying that as part of his health agenda, water and sanitation are already receiving attention, calling on everyone to start playing their role from their homes to keep the environment sustainable.
Because of the work that has been done in the silting and getting the water flooding back into the River Niger, the rain so far, they have not seen flooding. They now go through the normal channels. But we haven't still finished. There's still massive work to be done. Massive amount of work to be done. And we'll get the testimonies, and that gladdens my heart that at least we've taken the first big steps towards, if you like, urban regeneration and rescuing Onitsha back.
From Onitsha, Valentin Badaga reporting, Previous News.
Anambra Governor's wife, Mrs. Nonye Soludo, has said that the recent donation of 1,212 delivery kits, also known as Mama Kits, to the state by the United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, will be crucial in tackling neonatal and maternal death, especially in rural areas of Anambra State. Mrs. Soludo, who stated this in Oka while getting briefing on the donation, commended UNICEF, World Health Organization, and other development partners that are working with the state government for supporting the development vision of her husband's administration. She explained that the delivery kit, which contain essential need for birth, will also aid hygiene and personal health habit of women, especially those getting prenatal services in rural areas. Mrs. Soludo also noted that distribution of the kit would prioritize women living in hard-to-reach communities, especially areas affected by last year's flooding, would also be given as incentive to women who are going for antenatal in public health facilities. The governor's wife further said that having made similar donations for pregnant women taking shelter in designated holding center in the state during last year's flooding, she understands the economy and social difficulties faced by most rural women in the course of childbirth. She urged those involved in the distribution of the delivery kits to ensure that the target areas are covered with special consideration to women within specific economic brackets. In November 2022, the United Nations Population Fund also made a donation of 5,000 delivery kits to Anambra State to be given to pregnant women displaced by flood. Anambra State Emergency Medical Service and Ambulance System has been launched by the State Ministry of Health in conjunction with National Emergency Medical Service and Ambulance System and World Health Organization to cater for emergency need of Anambra. The scheme was flagged off by the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Sage Ehanire, in Awka. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo tells us more.
The state is the first to activate the emergency medical service and ambulance system in the country, an initiative of the federal government which aims at alleviating the sufferings of the citizenry during emergencies, where persons in need of emergency health care services in any part of Nigeria are to call a free toll number 112 for immediate response and help. Launching the scheme, the Health Minister, Ehanire, represented by the National Program Manager, National Emergency Medical Services and Ambulance System, Dr. Saidu Ahmed Dumbowal, said that the initiative is launched to provide people, both rich and indigent, with the opportunity to access global standard healthcare services at low or no cost, and as well reduce cases of death rate being recorded in the country during emergencies as regards to health challenges and accidents, and commended Governor Chuma Soludo and the health team for efforts made to ensure the actualization of the project in the state.
Will be mobilized, will be dispatched to go to that ward to go and pick that patient who is actually having an emergency at that moment to the nearby appropriate health facility. And on arrival, they will receive them, and it will be actually be received as SEMSA's patients. For the first 48 hours, we'll be responsible for the ambulance services and will be responsible for the what? For the medical treatment actually given to the patient.
In a remark, the governor of Anambra State, Professor Chuma Soludo, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Soluch Hulobelu, noted that the scheme is in line with his government's target to achieve a world-class health service for the state's residents, saying that the government will serve the Anambra better with the scheme.
The state has simply put the infrastructure and the building blocks for it to work. This will please tell the people with money to invest in it. They will be invested in the social service that where the return is not just in monetary terms. It is also a return that is it's not something in heaven for yourself, because we are saving lives. Please.
We are mapping it out in all the 21 local governments, and most importantly, it is price-based sector driven, because we want it to be sustained. As you are picking the patients, the hospital that you are taking the patients to must have been informed. They get prepared and they tackle the thing.
Emergency treatment, emergency management fits very well into the work that WHO is doing globally in supporting the world to be healthy.
Contributing, the Managing Director, Anambra State Health Insurance Agency, Dr. Simeon Onyemechi, noted that people need to get themselves registered under the state health insurance scheme in order to benefit from the latest health services in the state at little or no cost. In Awka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo reporting for ABS News.
The first session of the 13th Synod of the Anglican Diocese of Awka has commenced with arrival service at the host church, St. Peter's Anglican Church, Agulu, Anocha Council area of Anambra State. The synod, which will last 4 days, is being hosted by Agulu Anglican community, comprising all the parishes in Agulu and on the Lake Archdeaconries. The theme of the synod is Running the Christian Race, Implication for the Family in Perilous Time. Amaka Chubuzokoye tells us more.
It is attracting over 700 delegates and Anglican faithful from far and near who are felicitating with Ndi Agolo and Awka Diocese on the synod. The synod is also witnessing the presence of many bishops and archbishops of dioceses and provinces in the Church of Nigeria, who joined President of the synod and Bishop of Awka Diocese, Most Reverend Alexander Ibezim, and his wife, Mrs. Mata Ibezim. While welcoming the delegates and participants to the synod, Most Reverend Ibezim said synod is program geared towards the promotion of the gospel of Jesus Christ and an opportunity to enjoy a fellowship with Christ that is worth more than money, silver, and gold.
This is our 13th year, and under these 13 years, when you look around, it looks as if we have stayed 20 years, 20-something years. I want God has done through you. I don't know how to thank all of you.
In a sermon, the guest preacher, Right Reverend Stanley Fube, who is the Bishop, Diocese of Lantan, Plateau State, maintained that the theme of the synod was carefully chosen to address the ills bedevailing the society, and told the delegates that as Christians they should be salt and light that outshine darkness and live in a way that people will testify that they are children of God.
Can you be that example that when people see you, they will know, not only when you are speaking, but from everything they see, they will know that this is the child of God.
Archbishop Ibezim, in company of the Dean, Church of Nigeria, Anglican Communion, Most Reverend Buba Lamido, other archbishops and bishops and clergymen, later paid a courtesy visit to the traditional ruler of Agolo, Igwe Innocent Obodako, where he prayed and asked God to bless the land and its inhabitants. In his response, Igwe Obodako said he was elated that Agolo is hosting the synod as the community has benefited much of God's blessings and mercy, praying that this year's synod will usher in long life, peace, progress, and prosperity in the community. This year's synod marks the third time that Agolo Anglican community will be hosting the synod since the creation of Okal Anglican Diocese in 1987. Planting of synod tree by the Archbishop and his wife, and inspection of guard of honor mounted by the Girls and Boys Brigade of the diocese marked the high point of the first day of the synod. Amaka Chibuzo Okoye, ABS News.
Journalists have been urged to leverage on the use of digital technology and skills to produce and disseminate content on emerging post-election issues to meet demand of the time in professionally inclusive manner. The program manager, Institute for Media and Society, Mr. Timothy Bamidele, made the call at a workshop titled Building Digital Multimedia Storytelling Skill for Women Journalists, held in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Mr. Bamidele explained that the event is an activity under the support media components of the European Union support to democratic governance in Nigeria. Mr. Bamidele explained that the event is an activity. The digital content expert, Mrs. Ehi Ohiani, spoke to the participants on elements of multimedia story and warned them against posting unverified stories, which she said can cause terrible damage. Ms. Ohiani also advised the participants to use the opportunity to improve on their digital skill, which she said will enhance journalism profession. Another resource person, Mr. Osifu Omozopia, in his presentation on postcasting and videos, described postcasts as a practice of using the internet to make digital recording of broadcasts available for downloading to a computer or mobile device. He pointed out that in less than a decade, journalism and artificial intelligence will become inseparable, adding that there is a great opportunity to make money when one has digital skills. For the program officer, Bukola Ubanjo, the European Union support to democratic governance in Nigeria is using the media to promote fair and ethical coverage of electoral process, enhance the participation of women, youth and other vulnerable groups in political process, and empower civil society organizations and relevant agencies to demand greater transparency, accountability in the electoral and decision-making process and promote greater citizen participation. When ABS News return, Nigeria presents country's report to ECOWAS. Portugal declare war on tobacco. Here is a special message again. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Stay with us.
A peak protein breakfast gets you up to a great day. How do I know? Because my daddy goes to his work feeling good and always with a smile. Mommy is always filled with confidence. My sister is always in tune. And for me, learning new things becomes absolute fun. Because all day and every day, the peak goes on.
Start your day with a peak protein breakfast. Peak. Reach for your peak.
Just joining us, you're watching ABS Evening News. Nigeria has presented its country report on the ongoing 2023 first ordinary session of the 5th legislature of the ECOWAS Parliament in Abuja. The report, which dwells on political security, economy, human rights, healthcare situation and status of implementation of ECOWAS states was delivered on behalf of the 33 Nigeria delegation by the member representing Onitsha North and South Federal Constituency, Honorable Linda Chuba Ibazu. Ekwe Ajide tells us more.
Said in spite of the evident passionate clamor for democracy prior to the 2023 presidential and National Assembly elections, turnout for the election was very low, as only 24.9 million persons out of the 93.47 million voters actually voted in the election. Honorable Ibazu noted that 5 out of the 17 parties that participated in the presidential election challenged the victory of the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The parliamentarian lamented the security situation in the country, which she said was heightened prior to the elections, as record of scores of violence against civilians through banditry, kidnapping and political violence associated with the presidential and gubernatorial elections held sway. According to her, the Food and Agricultural Organization FAO had in March 2023 projected that nearly 25 million Nigerians are at the risk of facing hunger between June and August 2023, which makes the hunger level in Nigeria bleak.
The Federal Government of Nigeria National Development Plan 2021 to 2025 is still on course, with infrastructural development in the transport and power sectors in the driving seat. However, the unstable electricity sector remains a major challenge for the economic growth and national development, with over 200 million population still rationing about 4,000 megawatts of electricity.
On the other hand, Carlos Tavares, who had delivered the country report on behalf of the Cape Verde's delegation, said the country is located at the crossroads of routes used by transnational organized crimes owing to its geopolitical spread. But the country has invested a lot in securing its borders and remained steadfast in combating drug trafficking. He said in spite of significant progress regarding the promotion and protection of human rights in Cape Verde, gaps still exist, but there have been no reports or allegations of harassment.
Of assembly and demonstration. There are no reports or allegations of violation of the right of assembly and demonstration in Cape Verde.
In Abuja, Princess Ekwe Ajide reporting.
On the foreign scene, Portugal is bringing in new legislation to restrict the use and sale of tobacco products, including vaping. Portugal is clamping down on cigarettes and vaping. A new bill will ban smoking in outdoor spaces next to public buildings such as schools, colleges and hospitals. It also tightens control over the sales and marketing of cigarettes and other tobacco products in the country. The aim is that by 2025, they will only be available for purchase in tobaccos, petrol station and airport. It will also no longer be possible to sell tobacco directly or through vending machines in places such as restaurants, bars, concert halls, venues, casinos, fairs and exhibitions. The product will also be prohibited at music festival. Portugal is complying with the European Directive of 29 June 2020, which puts heated tobacco on an equal footing with other tobacco products. In sport, the Nigeria Rugby Football Federation (NRFF) has announced the appointment of Scott Steve Lewis as head coach of national team. Speaking on Nigeria's pardon and readmission into the international scheme by World Rugby, NRFF President Dr. Ademola Are said Louis' first assignment will be to lead the men and women's 7 teams to the 2024 Olympic Games qualifiers in Mauritania and Zambia in June and July respectively. He also disclosed that participating countries include Mauritania, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Botswana, Cameroon, Algeria and Nigeria. Others include Burundi, Congo, Lesotho and Senegal and Egypt. Reacting to his appointment as the country's coach, Louis promised to leave the nation's team to a higher level, adding that he will lay good foundation for a new generation of Nigerian players and coaches. Louis, who is not a stranger to Nigeria Rugby, coached the Black Stallion 10 years ago from 2012 and 2013. Under his watch, Nigeria qualified for the Glasgow 2014 Commonwealth game against all odds. Before his recruitment by the NROFF, he was a technical consultant to a much improved Brazil national team, as well as director of rugby at championship-winning New York Major League Rugby Club. That's the size of our package tonight, but remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television Oka. Follow us on YouTube at ABS Television Oka. Subscribe to our Twitter handle by following us at ABS Radio TV. You can also follow us on our website at www.absradiotv.com. The main point again. Anambra State Governor Soludo has visited Onitsha, vows to revamp city. Special intervention to cater for emergency health needs of India Anambra has been launched. On national matters, we told you Nigeria has presented country report to ECOWAS. And on the foreign scene, Portugal has declared war on tobacco products. Thanks for watching. My name is Chinyere Ikioreke. Good night.